people have different perspectives on sampling. Like I said, you have your loopers. You know, they just take loops and they might throw a drum under it. And that's satisfying, you know. But to me, the purity and the beauty and the joy of sampling is when you can chop something up into bits and pieces, and then when you finish, it actually sounds like the record. But then if you're paying attention, you say, wait a minute, that ain't on the record. Where did that come from? You see, and that's the beauty of the sample. You know, like when you hear songs like Break North, and you know I got the Fly Like an Eagle samples in there, or even the we did a what was it, the B-side companion album, where I did another remix of Break North, and the samples of the Steve Miller Band is just incredible. The way I sequenced them, and it sounds like the record, but then you go, I can't find that on the record. Where is it? That's the beauty of sampling. Or even get more technical, Public Enemy had an album out called Greatest Hits and Misses, where they took the beginning intro of a song we had on Critical Beatdown called Break North. It was Break North, matter of fact. They took the intro, the dun 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 dun, and there was no clearance. So when contacted Leor Cohen said, he got that from a record anyway. I said, Leor, I'll pay you $1 million and anybody you can find to find the record with that guitar melody on it. And he couldn't, because there was no record. That was just a guitar chopped up and played in multi-level, you know. And that's the beauty of sampling, when you can make somebody think that it's actually a record. And that's, to me, that was the key. When you can chop something up and people think it's an actual riff or something from an actual recording, and it doesn't exist, you know, that's the beauty of it to me. See, this is why I said it's different for everybody. With me, it was never a time. Like, I can go back and say, oh, I could have did more with that one. And then there are ones I go back and I say, wow, I must have really been into that. So there was never a time. I'll say the only thing with me now is that I'm more observant to everything that happens within a sequence. Whereas before I used to just get the major elements. Now I get the little, you know, do something with that. That's about the only thing. But you know, like if you listen to a record like Poetry on the Criminal Minded album from BDP, and you know, I can't even remember the name of that James Brown record where I took the samples from. But when you listen to it and you listen to how the chops are and how the rearrangement is, and it's like a phenomenon. And that's why I said I will go from that, and then there'll be other records where I've worked on and I say, wow, why I didn't go in depth in it like I did on that one. So it never was a point of peaking. It was just a point of I guess how much I was into the samples I was using. You know, sometimes I would get into the nitty gritty, and then sometimes I'll just cover the basics. That's what I'm saying. It's certain records I already did that, but then on certain times I didn't. So maybe now the progression is I would do it all the time. But I did it. It wasn't like I didn't do it. You know, when you listen to certain records, I did it. You know, and then like I said, it's an art, because then you have cats like Primo. Primo mastered the section chopping, where he takes the sections and he rearranges them into a whole nother thing, like I said, where it sounds like the record, but it ain't the record. So he's the master of that element of it. It's like there are different elements to sampling. Like you can't just bag it all into one category, you know. But that's what I'm saying. It's what you master you know, so he takes that element of it and he makes it worthwhile and everything, like I said, because you'll hear it and you say, wow, what record was that? And then you'll hear the record he did and you hear the differences. And you're like, okay, that's production. But then you got the cats, like you said, who just do straight looping and don't do anything. Like, you can use loops, don't get me wrong, but you have to do something to it. There has to be something in that record that doesn't happen on the record. If you just playing it straight through, I don't call that a producer. I call that an engineer. You just, there was nothing different. But, you got to do something. You got to put a snare roll in, an extra horn, something. I mean, what did you do to make it yours? So, I don't know.